We're inside the old party room in the barn. Don't really use it anymore. I started this actually on the outside, but I guess I hit a button or something. I stopped recording somehow, so take two, I guess. You know, this ain't going to be here much longer. Benny's going to tear it down. There's a fake snake in the wall that scared the hell out of quite a few people with that. It's always been something we've done. Some people think it's funny. I don't particularly care for it that much. This is real shaky. Get over it. And there's my own personal claim to fame. This arrow only got shot one time, and it killed my first deer with a bow. And it's also the only deer that's ever been killed on this property with a bow. So until somebody beats me, I guess it's still mine. In case you wonder where we're at, Green Acres. Old closet over there. Throwing millions of darts at that dartboard. Probably hit the door more times than I ever did the board. Watched a man go through the wall there one time. See if I can get a little bit better like that by turning it. That'd probably drive you crazy watching the video, but yep. Funniest thing, one of the funniest things I ever saw in my life was watching a man go through the wall. We come out here, storage area, but once we get a deer, hang them there. Matter of fact, I was doing that last night. I got a deer. And that's where we work them up. You really don't want to see that, because that is the deer I got last night. Bet it didn't look like that one. You kind of got to watch when you walk out here, try to stay on the main beams. Don't ever drop a cigarette down in there, you will light this place on fire. For some reason there's an old toilet in here now. Get outside. Gotta keep it locked up, keep the dog out there. He will be in that bucket. Oh, there's Benny's house. He added a ramp to it. It was the front porch for a wheelchair truck. I'm trying to get it in frame. Benny says within 2 years he will tear this down and kind of do what Smitty did and put up a tool shed. As long as there's somewhat of a party room and my arrows in it, that's all I really care about. And when you get back here, it doesn't take very long to notice that the woods are missing. Been totally stripped, timbered, all the trash left behind. Really sad. There's home sweet home. We eventually will have to do something about this camper. It's getting pretty rough. No heat on the one side. I freeze every night. And here's all my clothes that got soaked yesterday. Sun was shining a little bit better. You might be able to see the mica that's in the dirt. There, you see it right there. Comes right out of the water. But I'm gonna grab this backpack and that shotgun, and I'm gonna walk the ridge line to that and show what that looks like now. I think somebody who's seen it before is going to watch this video. Is going to be really surprised on how that looks now. It's actually really sad. I think we're all disappointed with it, but it's his property. He can do what he wants. He's never liked us. He never wanted us to ever even step a foot on his property, which we never really did. But he didn't even want us, if we shot a deer and it went over, he didn't want us to even go get it. Real jerk. Well, that's okay. He'll be dead soon. He's 92. He can't live forever. Alright, we're up here at the very top end of the yard. Look back down there where the camper, it's Chelsea's truck and Mike's truck, and you can kind of see the top of Benny's house is back here. But if you remember, all this was pines. As far as you can see, all gone now. And you can kind of see where we're going, which right here's the fence line. And actually the property marker's actually a little bit farther, but when Benny had horses, he put up, a little fence. He stayed generously on his side, but that right there is actually the ridge. That used to seem like a long ways to walk. And it's kind of unbelievable that's right there. Well, Davis's climbing stand's still up there. I don't know if I can get that in frame with this camera. I don't really have the zoom for it. That one tree they left. Actually, it's doing pretty good. You can see it. That old stand that he had up there. I've hunted deer all that stand just to piss him off. But he's a jerk. He deserves it. But this video is going to run in parts. I'm going to try to figure out how to run them all together. May not be able to do that. Who knows? But we're going to take a walk that way. Go down the hill and up the hill. Mike and Chelsea, they're hunting in the bottom. So I don't really want to disrupt them. I've already gotten the deer. I want to give them a fair chance on it because this is the last afternoon we're going to be here anyway. The only thing I'm going to shoot at, Mr. Turkey pops his head up. I might let him have it, but we'll see. I seen him yesterday right before I got my deer. Maybe I'll see him again today. Maybe I won't. Well, we're getting up next to the ridge. Right here's where I used to like hunting. Deer would come off this ridge up here, and they would either split and come down through a swag and go down through the swamp, which gets really thick down there, which is what they like, or they would cut on out, run past where we're fixing to go, up on top of this ridge, and work out to the point. The last 7 or 8 years, they've actually went that way, but we've taken a lot of deer just right here, coming right through this creek bottom. But there's another good idea on how trash it is. And there's the other side. He was talking about Davis's stand while ago in the other video. You can still see it from there. So people may be wondering why I talk trash about the man. It ain't because he wouldn't let us hunt on his property. I didn't really care about that. It's his property. He can do what he wants. But he would come out here during deer season every year. He'd start cutting down a tree right on the edge of this line, messing with, there used to be 6 or 7 of us that would be down here on Thanksgiving week every year. He'd drop the tree and he'd just leave it lay. Then he'd go down somewhere else and he'd start cutting another tree. He'd drop it and leave it lay. You come back 5 years later, that tree's still laying there. He never did touch it. He did it just to be a jerk. That's why we can't stand him. Total lack of respect for nature. Don't care about giving it back. Hooray for me, screw everybody else's attitude. What that man has. And as you can see, he pretty much left nothing for nobody, but nature will fix this on its own. I figure in about 5 years this will be complete underbrush and it'll be full of deer. Won't be a whole lot of food on them over there now, so it's going to change the aspect of how we hunt this. I think they will go back up on the top. Deer like to be high and they like to be in brush. So they'll come out of there to come here to eat or go across to the fields that I shot one out of yesterday. So I'm gonna keep working my way out to this point. I gotta start being a little bit more quieter now, because once I get up to the top of this ridge, from any angle where they're hunting the bottom and they're hunting out the very end of the property next to the creek down there, they'll be able to see me and hear me if I'm too loud. With the wind going and stuff, I don't think they're gonna be able to hear me, but I gotta kind of take my time. So we'll just keep on making a video as we go. Talk about no respect for property. If you look there, you can see the old boards. That was one of the old hand-built stands we had up on the ridge. That was the old ridge stands. Where you come up there, that's where you hunted. And you can look at the bark on the side of that tree to see that a tree fell down on it. Now this tree fell, but it was knocked down by the tree that was there. I can tell from the damage that's up here, that's where it come from. It just uprooted that tree and knocked into another one, but also knocked down this tree. And this was the newer ridge stand, which we didn't use these anymore. Been several years since we used them, but I mean, you're knocking out our trees too when you're doing your nasty little job. And I've known a lot of loggers in my lifetime, and I've never seen such a lack of respect. Whoever did this job, they're pure shit. No respect for anybody or anybody else's property. I don't know where this ladder stand come from. That might be Chelsea's. I don't know. I'm not sure. I've never seen it before, but I haven't been down here in 3 or 4 years, so it's hard to tell whose it actually is. It looks like it's been sitting there for a while. But the tree that Mike Sled likes to see in, that's gone. This used to be one of the hottest spots to be around here. When he was up on this ridge, I mean, this more deer have been killed off this property on this spot right here than anywhere else. Not saying that the rest of it's bad, but you set up here, you were damn near guaranteed. Man, I can't believe all that was pine at one time too. There was hardwoods through here, but just a lot of pine trees, and that's what they travel in. They would keep going out this way. That'll take us out to the point. I'm just terribly heartbroken and disappointed with all this. It's really bad. I keep forgetting that I zoom in, so probably see the big monster zits on my face or something like that, but whatever. Well, there's the road. I was wondering if the damn road was still here, but that's where Dickhead would come up here and drive right alongside the property line. I wouldn't even leave it to be on the highway anyway. Of course, he could have farm use. All that's gone. It's gone. If you get to the top of that hill, that's where his little dirt runway was. As you can see, clear out to the highway from here now. It's just totally wasted. I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but it's still unbelievable to me. I've always preached, if you're going to take from nature, you got to give back to nature. That's true conservation. Save something for the next year, for the next person, and make sure that it's here 100 years from now. That's not what this is. This is millions and millions of dollars of waste, actually. And people go, well, that's the junk off the trees. Well, look, there's some good trees that have been knocked down. Pick them all up, put them in the wood chipper, sell them at Lowe's. Yep, that's right. You can sell them at Lowe's and make millions of dollars. So tell me I'm wrong now. And a little part of this video, this is aimed at my old hunting partner that moved to Illinois. He wanted to know if his stand was there, where he got his very first deer, and that's the stand and that's the tree, and nope, it ain't moved and probably never will. As you notice out through there, it's not as thick as it used to be, where all them pines were through here, but that's not because of jerk off over on the property line. That's because a windstorm come through here a couple years ago and knocked most of the pines down. There's still some big ones back there laying, but those aren't really big pines. But you can also tell that now, where you was halfway in the middle of this wood line, you're now pretty much at the end. Right there, what's left of it, still see it. Try to get them framed there. There's the old point stand, the home built one. Quite a few deer have been taken out of that, but they would come out down over this field, and they cross the creek down at the bottom, and they'd come up this point. The last couple years they've been coming up the other side, and that's where somebody took about an 80-yard shot that I wouldn't have took, but you know, made it happen. He got his deer. Maybe he's just smarter than I am, I don't know. But still sitting there looking at the tags and stuff. They did come down over the hillside over there somewhat, but they didn't really do a good job. I am going to try to ease up to that field, up to this line here a little bit more. It's really steep right there. Chelsea is literally less than 100 yards away from me straight down over this hillside, and I really don't want to mess him up. So if I take my time and be quiet, I didn't go full camo today because my clothes are wet. The only thing else I had to use besides what I got now is coveralls, and so. But then again, I ain't really trying to do anything else. While we're down here, it's somebody else's turn. For the most part, I feel like I just really got lucky. Right place, right time. But he wanted to know if it was still here. Yep, it's still here. So I'm just carrying a shotgun out here today. So there you go. Now the camera really doesn't do it justice on how steep this actually is right here and how steep it's fixing to get. I wish I wasn't so shaky. I mean, it looks like it's right there, but that, trust me, it's almost straight downhill. That's one of the old fields. Now that neighbor over there on that property, but he hasn't planted that field. That used to be a lot of corn or soybeans or something like that. Now he doesn't care if we see a deer on his property. He don't care if we shoot it. He don't care if we come over and get it. He just doesn't want us to actually come and set up on his property. He does hunt as well, and he has people come over. So, but this is about as far as to the edge as I really want to go, because I'm within about 60 yards of the Chelsea right now, and I'm not going to screw up his hunt. Just trying to get an idea of how the camera was making everything look too, but that's the field that they used to, when they come across the ridge and out to this point, and they would come down. That's where they're going to. The field I shot one is about 600 yards that way. I guess from here it'd actually be east if he was going north, south, east, and west. But you got Chelsea right down over the hill over here. Then if we go that way about 700 yards, then Mike will be there. They're probably 200 or 300 yards difference between them two. I've seen deer down there before. We missed the chance at a real monster buck up here one time. Of course, the tree that I used when I lost that deer, it's gone. I always wondered whose property line that was on, because it was right on the edge. I guess they're assuming it was his because they took it. But win some, lose some, I guess. Big fat squirrel right there. Like he's seeing me, he thinks he's hiding right now, but if I wanted to take him out, I could easily do so. He's got a buddy up in that tree with him. There he goes. He finally figured out something was going on right. That ridge line is where we normally hunt at. That's where they timbered all their land at. You can see all the way to the top of it up there now from here. I'm down hunting next to the little creek that we generally stay away from. Deer like to come through this grass from that property and went across the property we hunt. They went up to the top of that ridge, and that's where they like to bed at, but that's all been timbered and gone. Directly sitting behind the ridge, a lot of deer we take and come from right there, and that's looking back towards the point. It's really damn sad that all this is like this now. I just totally killed the hunting here for this year. I think it's going to take it a couple years to get back to normal, but sometimes you just do things out of principle. It is nice and quiet down here. I do not like being down in this bottom. It's going to be colder just because you're next to that water. Well, this is my log where I crossed at. Still gotta get through that brush. Gonna make it to the other side. Let's see if I can zoom in. See the limb hanging over right there. Well, when I got on the other side of that, there's where it's broke at, and there's where I slid down into the water. Good times. What's up, big boy? Can't figure me out? Come here. Come here. Come here. Still scared of the gun, huh? Come on. Oh, you're bigger than that. You're tougher than that. Show us your tongue. Don't turn your head and do it. Come here. Fine, be that way. See if I want to play with you anymore. Huh? Come on. Come on. Come on. Come here. Alright, let's go camper. Let's go camper. Come on. Come on. Go. Oh. See what he does. Well, see, you're still following. You make it up here, I'll put this down.
Just want to take your taters off and give you one more round?
No, man. They ain't done yet.
The taters look done.
No, they ain't.
Feel a little tough. You got much eye there.
You got 2 eyes. What the fuck you talking about?
Skillet ain't got much eye.
No.